There we go. Oh my God. Oh my God. Good day, Jerry.
Good day, good day, good day.
Let's talk about, well, we're going to talk about some cabbage today, but apart from the cabbage, tell us about your little trip to Singapore.
Singapore. Actually,
Singapore, let me
very.
just get your volume right. There we go.
All
Give me a
right.
sound check. Sound check? Sound check?
Sound check. Check, check, check.
Okay.
I'm a,
We're
I'm a
peaking
check.
on the red, peaking on the yellow. It's all good. Okay, we're here. Yeah, Singapore.
Singapore. I think probably everybody knows Singapore is a beautiful country. Of course, we were in the city, and it's clean, it's neat, it's orderly. Maybe a little bit too boring, but that being said, it's a beautiful city, and everything works. The buses work, the taxis work, the water works,
The
but it's
waterworks.
it's expensive. It
Yeah?
really, there's no doubt that even with the dollar to Singapore dollar exchange rate, which is about 1.35 to one Singapore, or vice versa, it's still expensive, no doubt about it.
Right.
So, but
Yeah, so
we
it's
enjoyed it. We had a very good time.
a far cry from the chaos of Bangkok.
Far cry, yes, sir.
And we
Of
got
course,
in the
videos to come, of
in
course.
the background there, we've got Trolls who's keeping
Hey.
himself anonymous.
You
Well,
mean
you can't
Charles?
actually see the face of Trolls, okay, because Trolls are
You
trolls. They're supposed to be anonymous, you know. But he got a spanner anyway.
you see it in a couple or a video or two of yours. So
Yeah. We're hooking up on Monday. We're gonna do some Moo Barn visits, and well, that's what we're planning on. We're gonna go and
yeah,
talk to a couple of Moo Barns and check out what's available around here. And we might sort of, if that video works well, we might continue doing some of that. Because that last video's blown up. I thought I would have got a few more views, but it's blown up. I think I've got 60 new subscribers just from one video.
Oh, good.
there you go.
And again, I've been avoiding doing that whole cost of living because it's such a hard thing to do. But I thought the way I presented that is a more of a level playing field. This is our
Yeah,
costs. I don't care what it's going
for
to
sure,
cost
for
you.
sure.
You know, everybody says you can live on this. You can live on this. You know, you can live on $1,000 a month. You can live on 1,500 baht, 5 million. What? Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, it's about the style of living. You know,
Yeah,
we'll have to do yours. We'll have to do yours next, or you have to do yours on your channel, Jerry.
I've
I'm
lost you.
not going to do a budget because
You
everyone
know
will
what?
think I'm crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna think I'm crazy. I spent $1,000 a month on grab food. You're gonna be like, why is this young guy spending $1,000? I was like, when you want to
Well,
eat
that's
foreigner food, it actually adds up. That's where it adds up.
we might do two videos on Monday. We might shoot two videos. We'll do the Moo Barn stuff, and we'll do Trolls cost of living.
Yeah,
Well,
you got
when
don't want
Woz, a couple of my friends pay as much for their rent as I do for my monthly living, or close
to.
to
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
where his eyes were pointing.
Yeah.
yeah. I probably spend more on gas than most people spend on transportation.
Oh no, actually, at the moment it's oil for your car, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I just put 1 quart of oil in last week and 2 quarts of oil in this week. So the engine is definitely going.
Sounds like my old Corvair. It was like
Yeah,
His car is
a day.
contributing to the greenhouse gases in Bangkok. Come on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, anyway, who else we got here? We got Dalo. Good day, Dalo. Good for you to drop in. Yeah, 24.17. I don't know, I didn't even look this morning. I expected to probably go another 2 points next week, as by trends. Oh, come on, just open my damn freaking. Yeah, so slow. Yeah, I think it'll go up again next week, a little bit by like 1 or 2 points. So, anyway, well, Yakama, good morning. How you going, Mark? G'day, Mark. How you doing? Sick of the cold, Dalo, sick of the cold weather, yeah. Mark, we are booked to be there in July 12. Do we need to add that to my calendar? Um, calendar. You don't want to see all my stuff. I got Vicar Bush, 12th of July. So it's May, June, July, 12th. Dallo. There we go. Saved that. Good. Cancel. I just said. Yeah, okay. A bit slow today. Anyway, yeah, so a nice little trip away. We missed you yesterday at the meetup. Actually, we missed most of the regulars. What, we all went to Singapore?
No, Dave and Udom were in the U.S.
No,
Brian,
Udom.
Yeah, Brian is not available. I was gone. Who else was not there? I don't know.
Dave wasn't there.
Dave, yeah, he's in the U.S. How about Jack?
Jack didn't show up. It was just me and Todd.
Mr. Chris is in Da Nang, so he's not going to show up. Chris is recovering from his head.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you were alone. Who was there? You and who?
Todd did show up, yeah.
Oh, good. That's too bad that wasn't there then.
Hung out with Todd yesterday. We went cruising Fortune Town again. I didn't shoot any video there because we only did one recently in Fortune Town. Yeah. But I'm trying something different. My headphones over the last week or so, with these new glasses, they're all brand new and everything else. And of course the headphone cups have been pressing into the arms and I've been getting pain in my temples. So I got to try something different. So I'm on earbuds now. These are ones, little hook over ones. Which meant I've got to rebalance all the sounds and everything else because they're nowhere near the same 7.1 surround sound. I did see something really nice yesterday. Have you tried those new induction headphones?
Have not tried them.
Oh, mate.
Sounds like you're cooking your head when you say induction. Like,
well, they are. They vibrate the bone in your head, you know. And it's really what they don't tell you. They tickle. The little vibrations on your because the pads sit here on your on your sideburns. And it vibrates and it tickles the hairs. Seriously, it'll take us some getting used to. But I didn't buy them. No, 4,500 baht for those. Yeah.
How did they sound?
Oh, they sounded pretty good. It was really more of the actual sound is like immersive, right? You're in the sound. It's sort of the only thing that I felt it lacked bass. It was very trebly.
Interesting.
But again, that might be something you need to just adjust in your mixer or something like that. Give it a bit more bass overlay, something like that. But yeah, interesting. But again, it's not in my budget. Well, I could splurge, but again, I got Shania's birthday this month, so I'm just holding back this month. So.
What are we doing for that birthday?
She hasn't said anything. Well, the only thing she said so far, she was thinking of doing one of those house parties again, where we hire a house for 2 days, or for the what they call the rental period. I think you get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you leave the next day 10 o'clock in the morning or something or whatever, down in Charm, Hoi Hin or somewhere like that. She knows a couple down Chonburi as well that they've stayed at. But yeah, she was thinking of doing something like that, which everybody throws in like 1,000 baht, and that covers food and accommodation, and we can get up to 16 people in the house. So they are really fun parties. They really are fun parties. And it's not an orgy. Just get your mind out of the gutter, people. Right? It's not an orgy. It's just getting together, swimming, having a bit of fun, eating lots and lots of food. Seriously, because when the girls get there, that's all they do. They sit at the, in Australia, right? The typical parties in Australia, half the party ends up in the kitchen, because that's where the fridge is,
Yeah.
But in Thailand, three quarters of the party ends up in the kitchen, and they're all cooking food.
Right.
I think last time I did a couple of videos like that, I really didn't capture the cooking food thing, because that's all that goes on for 24 hours. It's just food after food after food, and copious amounts of alcohol. But
that's
yeah,
absolutely true. That's the way Tiki's friends are too. When we've gone and done the house parties.
yeah. So that. if we do the house party, there'll be a video, of course, around that sort of thing, and we'll get the girls in their bikinis and all that sort of stuff.
There you go. There's some thumbnails.
They're good
Some
thumbnails
clickbait
for
for
that
you.
one. Yeah.
I also think you need to get up to Bangkok, and we'll go out for dinner with a few of the friends. So just a couple different get-togethers. Don't be shy.
Oop, I just lost my chat. Come on, get back
Yeah,
there.
Andrew and the guys want to do a clink, like a monthly clink thing. So if she ever feels like singing again.
Yeah, well, I think we've got Sean back out here. He wanted to go and do some karaoke. He did karaoke on Wednesday. He asked us if we want to join him, but unfortunately, it was just one of those sort of things that it just, we'd been out the day and Shania was beat and everything else.
Yeah.
A trip
You got
into
to plan ahead. Yeah, a little plan.
Soy 57 from here, for an 8 o'clock meet. I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, it's a hike.
It is a hike. But yeah, we did Fortune Town yesterday, wandered through there, looking for, some earbuds, try a few little different devices. I just really want to get that perfect sound set up now, but try to do it on a budget, which means going through a few different options. But anyway, moving right along, what have you missed? Ralph Lewis, nothing like a vibrating bone.
Yeah.
And Dalo criminalising ganja by the end of 2024. Well, actually, we'll cover this article. I've got the stuff ready to go. It's all right. We'll talk about it. We're just doing the chit-chat thing first, and making sure everybody's here. So what else we got? I'm just checking what's going on. Got the usual crowd. I was expecting a few more drop-ins because of the surge in subscribers over the last 24 hours. So there was a few tire kickers on the comments, which I've left up. I can't be bothered. People are entitled to their opinion. Whatever. Your words really hurt me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like when I first came here, I think I lived on 10,000 baht a month. So I mean, like you can have it in all shades, like you said. Doesn't so? I think yours is probably the most comfortable and fair.
Well, that's the thing, we're not extravagant. We're not out there trying to, change the world. We just enjoy our life together. And
Living
again,
within your means, as my dad would say.
and again, you got to also. I've said this before. Shanya's family is not an affluent family. I fell in love with the girl, not the girl's family. And people are still going to kick the tires about the girl aspect, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I had a better, income in Australia, but again, did I want to wait till I was 67 to enjoy life with? No, I want to live life with her now. So you make changes. You work to budgets. You level it out so that you enjoy your life, but you do it conservatively. And she enjoys her life. And again, as I said, for her family, she's the first in 3 generations to actually own a house. Well, the bank owns it. She's the one with the name on the paper. Until we pay it off. Get the whole idea? But you just changed your name, did you?
Yeah, I made it easier. That's what I see.
Weird.
Makes more sense now. So.
But but it's just our life, and we enjoy our life. It means the fact that if somebody's wants to, you want to come to Vietnam with us. No, unfortunately, it doesn't sit on the budget. Shania wants to go to Japan. Well, that's going to take a year of planning.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to sock away 5,000 baht a month for 12 months just to, give you a bit of a, 3-day holiday in Japan.
Yeah.
In winter. In winter.
In winter. So you need to pack.
She wants to go in winter so she can see snow. Because I never took her to Australia in the winter time so she could see. Well, she did go in September. We still had snow, but I wasn't going to drive 500 kilometres down to just show her some slush on the ground because it was the end of the season. But you know how it goes. Anyway, let me just catch up with what people are talking about here. It's always difficult when you got. I don't know how Jen does it. He's good at it. He can keep the conversation going both ways. So we'll talk about the ganja stuff. They're making plans on being there until September. then Italy for 3 weeks before coming back to Bangkok. Oh, it sounds like a good holiday. Get away from it all, yes. Todd lives, yes, Todd lives, yes.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Thai women love karaoke and eating and combining both, don't they? What? Isn't the biggest
and drinking.
Isn't the biggest monthly expense Shanya's dresses? No, actually, you'd be surprised. She does. She, like I said, she lives her life on the mobile, right? Well, the two mobiles, and she's always looking at those little pop-up ads, that people do their little spruiking thing for the dress shops and on Facebook and so on. And probably once a week I'll see a little soft package thrown over the fence there, because there's nobody. I'm upstairs and everybody else is out, or Nara Baby's around. And yeah, okay, this is clothing. I don't know what she's bought this time, but generally they cost 200 to 300 baht, those dresses, and they get worn once or twice. It's one of the most frustrating things on a guy's perception is why you can't wear them more than 3 times, because somebody might recognize you wore it twice before. Oh my God! Secrecies of female life. Oh my God. Anyway, that's normal guys, not HISO ones. Yeah. 80,000 seems a pretty healthy budget. I've really budgeted other. I've never really budgeted other than keeping the outgoings less than the incomings. Well, that's part of it, yeah. But the trouble is, you've got to pick those outgoings, and the outgoings that kill you are the ones that are on the yearly basis, because everything else you can fairly well see quite obviously. It's the yearly, hitches, that 72,000. Well, I said, of course, I didn't put Shanya's birthday in there because last year we had pretty much a non-event birthday, so it really didn't factor into the equation. But, again, I provided everybody chips into if we do the pool party thing, as long as everybody chips in the 1,000, then I'm covered. It's 1,000 baht a head. With 16 people, that's 16. I think the villas cost about 8,000. You get about 8,000 worth of food and alcohol. But for me to front up and pay that alone straight out, it's a bit of an ask. But Thais don't do it that way. Just because there's a farang in the mix, it's not expected that the farang is going to pay for it all. And this is a misconception. Yeah. This is more of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about in videos over the course of going forward, because I don't know how I'm going to get better than what was it? What are we up to now? I don't mind being a bit transparent. People like the fact that I'm transparent on my channel. So we got ranking by views, 1 out of 10. So it's been flashing all for the last 24 hours. 6.9k views is up. The impressions, again, maybe it's a thumbnail of surprise or something like that. It does bring people in. Video analytics. This one here was an interesting one. I might do this a little bit more. If I look at the engagements here, right, normally that's the normal drop off, 30-second drop off, slightly higher than normal. Normally it's about 55% at the 30 mark. There's 60% at the retention mark. But then it's leveled out there for, it stayed at that mark for another minute. Right. And I realized, well, that's because that's for the third party view of Shania coming out of the house there, So are you gonna play? No, you're not gonna play, are you? It's an annoying thing. Yeah. Anyway, so it's something to do with that part. There was, it's me doing the third person shot, looking at Shania put her shoes on and things like that. People just still love looking at Shania for some reason. So it's a draw card. You need to get Tiki more in front of the camera. She's always behind you. She's a star.
Trying. She's going to be more in front in the coming video. So, well, the video I just posted just now is all about her getting some new glasses. So,
right. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one yet. Yeah,
no, you
this is here. Always 2 days, 24 hours behind. So that's probably only the first 12 hours. But that's like a $15 video, that one. So it's just doing all right. It's starting to level out now, but it's well above. How do you do, like again, you've got to follow up with something better or as good. And this is the biggest challenge we face in YouTube is you get one good video, those people are going to come back to the next video. And it's got to be just as good, or else you just lose them again, people are very unsubscribe happy these days. If it doesn't meet their, whatever they call that. Expectations. Yeah. Then they're just as quick to unsubscribe as they are to subscribe. So, yeah, the dangers of YouTube. Anyway, moving right along. 80,000 can be done. Yeah. Shania, hopefully, the business will pick up again now that school's back. Well, when does school get back? Next week, isn't it? Something like that. Anyway, as I said, last month was tough because she only worked 2 weeks. We went to Sukhothai, which is effectively a week away, and then she came back and she had COVID for a week, so she lost 2 weeks of income out of April. And April's always a low month. So, but yeah, anyway, such is life. 50k single male is easy going. Yes. Jake Gator, if Shania wants to see snow, maybe South Korea. Japan is her thing. We've talked about South Korea, and we may actually have a little bit of an issue trying to get into South Korea because of the issue with her brother. Her brother overstayed South Korea for 3 years, got kicked out. Like foreigners come to Thailand and overstay. Well, Thais go to other places and overstay too, right? Okay, let's have both sides of the it happens everywhere, right? And Thais are absolutely well known for doing that overstay thing, which is probably why they police it so heavily here in Thailand, because they're just as bad at it and doing it elsewhere. So anyway, but she's still Kamjeen and he was Kamjeen, so there might be a flag on the name Kamjeen going through gates. So yeah, we're not even going to, it's not in my budget this year or next year, so we'll just let it slide for the moment. You don't want to see snow, it's just white stuff. I'll take you back to Dreamworld and we'll go into the big barn there where it comes out of the ceiling. That's not snow! It's H2O, frozen, darling. It's exactly what snow's made of. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. 27 years as an FIF, my budget is considerably more. Well, that's the thing, everybody's going to find what works for them. The point, I think, or hopefully the point of the video, if you don't itemize everything and look at it in one fell swoop, you can really catch yourself out. That's the thing, and that's what people don't do. They don't factor in those yearlies and things like that when they do budgets. You've got to be black and white with it as well. And always look at those numbers on the high side. What are their peaks? So you always got a cushion there. But yeah, it's part of the way the game works. Anyway, Ralph, of course we want to look at Shania, look at the alternative. Hey, well look, I'm doing, this is my hair regrowing that's going on at the moment. Now I'm not getting hair transplants. I'm going back to old witch's brew recipes and things like that for hair growth tonics. And Shania reckons it's coming along quite nicely. We're about, 6 weeks into it?
What did it start at, though? You got to give before and after.
I think you have to go back to my videos a couple of years ago. Come on.
You always wear a hat.
Oh, not always. Not always. And that's the other thing. The headphones, I'm pretty sure the strap on the headphone rubbing backwards and forwards here all the time. It's either going to flatten my head or it's just pulling the hair out of the top. I don't know. So maybe the earbuds will help along. But it's enough of my rubbish. School went back this week, thanks like Yuck Lama. Yeah, so again, school, most of her clientele are the younger generation, 25 to 40, university students and so on and so forth who want all those fancy hairdos, which is what she specialises in. Anyway, so we caught up with everybody. We do have a couple of articles we were going to go into. The main one. The main one. What's going on here? What have we got? 15 people watching. Let's get into it. All right, yeah. So this killer came through. Well, let's go to a bigger screen so you can all see it. Right, cannabis shops to close by April 1, 2025. PM, the Thai PM orders drug rescheduling. Get rid of the ads. Okay, in a pivotal meeting attended by the Prime Minister and 3 senior ministers, I thought they actually had 500 ministers in Parliament that all had to make a decision on this. So 4 people out of 500 are making a decision. It's a bit skew-if there. They announced that the cannabis shops in Thailand are to be shut down by April 1, 2025. Instantly looks like an April Fool's joke. What do you reckon? I just don't think that's the best day to do the closure, okay?
Yeah, that's not a good date to perfect it.
That's just going to just April Fool's jokes for the next year about this one. Anyway, he has called for a reclassification of cannabis as scheduled narcotic substance by the end of 2024. Right, this comes as part of a larger strategy to clamp down on drug use in Thailand. Prime Minister has advocated for stricter police action and treatment measures for drug addicts. Tavaskin earlier expressed strong opposition to cannabis liberalisation in an interview with France 24, whoever that is, it's a channel or something, or TV channel. His remarks alarmed then Minister for Public Health, who questioned whether the PM's views were in line with government policy. Right, so there's some political infighting going on at the moment. This disagreement may have led to Cholin's subsequent removal from the cabinet. Yeah. Planned reclassification of marijuana likely unsettled the burgeoning cannabis industry and is effectively nullifies the 2022 statute proposed by the Public Health Minister Ayutan. The law has exempted police from criminal proceedings. The law had exempted police from criminal proceedings related to marijuana. How did they exempt police? What's the police got to do it? They're the ones who've got to police the damn thing. How did you exempt them from it? Anyway, maybe somebody else can clarify that one. Tabaskin's proposed changes would permit action against individuals selling and using cannabis. In recent developments, new appointed Public Health Minister Somsek suggested public consultation on the matter, while the bill is being drafted to regulate marijuana use as a non-scheduled substance. However, any confusion or ambiguity in the drug regulation is exactly what Sethra wanted to avoid. He sees cannabis trade as a threat to the country and argues that it brings more economic negatives than positives. Well, this is the thing. So we got 2 sides of the argument, and it's very much a minority position, which holds a lot of sway in government, which is what we're going to fight with. But anyway, so on top of that, 6 hours ago, this one here, the person who brought it in a bold move, he's probably just trying to get his ducks in a row, Deputy Prime Minister Ayutan orders the arrest of foreigners operating cannabis outlets illegally in Thailand. Ambiguity on this illegally as well, and I thought I would critically look at that issue itself. The wider criticised decision follows the government-led initiative to upscale the regulation of marijuana trading, recreational marijuana trading in the country. The minister, anyway, the problem I have is the fact that they made this law to create new business here for Thailand, which is the ideal growing conditions for this particular crop. It's been grown in Thailand for over 2,000 to 3,000 years, and it's been used medicinally for 2,000 to 3,000 years here in Thailand as a culinary additive. It's one of the key ingredients of tom yum gai.
And just like kway teow lua and kway teow nam tok, these darker broths usually have like the stems and stuff in them.
Yeah, so when the law was changed back in the early 70s, when America went all out on the drug war, and they drafted a international policy that if you wanted to access the federally produced American export drug system, which was their pharmaceutical products, you had to comply to this drug regulation, and cannabis had to be made illegal to access those pharmaceuticals out of America, right? And everybody in the world said, yeah, well, you've got some good drugs coming out there. We want all these opioids to give to people because cannabis is not damaging, but we want to damage people. I don't know what it is. Doesn't make sense now, but aside from that, Thailand should be creating business around cultivars and create the stuff you're seeing on the shelf these days, like these top-end shelf products. These are not being made in Thailand. These are being made in America and other legalized countries, and is being imported with import duties and taxes and everything else, and you're paying premium dollar. There's 3 cultivars that are widely known here in Thailand. One is a CBD specific product, and the other 2 is Thai stick and Thai tanasori. Right, they're the Thai cultivars, which are only about half the THC content of the top shelf. It's quite a mellow, relaxing. It's like I can't even get an example in the alcohol sort of trade. Alcohol makes you up and revs you up, whereas this stuff here, it's the sort of stuff you'd have after a half day's work to settle you down, because traditionally in Thai farming, they would start out with kratom in the morning to get them going, and then they'd come home and then have cannabis in the evening to slow them down. And this was a cycle, 7 days a week. That's how it all worked. But that was in the 70s. Of course, the legalization, making cabbage illegal, changed all that, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I'm not getting any people commenting. They're not chiming in and having their 2 cents worth. Come on. I'd rather a mellow smoke. Yeah, well, again, I'm off it at the moment because it was becoming a bit of a you want everything to be. You want all the pain to go away when you're 63 years old. The alternative is this stuff here. It's this shit. What they call it. Tylenol or paracetamol has the same effect, but you can become dependent on that stuff too. But that's totally legal, and it doesn't make you high. So, but the Thai weed doesn't really make you high unless, of course, you smoke fucking half an ounce of it. It makes you, it settles things. It makes the pain go away. But
makes me really hungry.
Makes you really hungry as well, yes. Anyway, so he's come out and said, we need to, be stricter on the criminalisation. And this is really where my thoughts. There is nothing wrong with the industry if we just exercise the same thing they do with alcohol. And I'm going to take it on the alcohol versus the cannabis side, and then talk about excess deaths related to alcohol use in the United States. In the United States, I think this was 2022, they gave us, I'm pretty sure I had the date. This was the date, I'm pretty sure the article, from 2020 to 20, so this was each state during 2021. So this is during COVID of all times, right? We had 178,000 deaths in the United States each year during 2021, or 488 deaths per day. This is 29% increase from 2020, blah, 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 probably because of the fact that people were locked up in houses. When there was an estimate of 138,000 deaths per year. The estimate from the CDC, alcohol-related disease impact, so alcohol kills. There is direct evidence that alcohol kills. On the flip side, health risks related of smoking cannabis, right? The summary. Summary: while marijuana or cannabis can have adverse effects in the short and long-term health, there is limited research as to whether or not it can cause death. Um, there are few recorded cases of people dying from possible marijuana-induced complications of an existing medical condition. Maybe if you had COVID, that's a respiratory thing, and then you're smoking on top of that, that could have maybe sort of exacerbated the COVID condition. But these are inconclusive. While most experts agree that it is not possible to smoke a lethal dose of marijuana, because you can definitely sit down and drink a lethal dose of fucking tequila. One bottle will usually do the job. You'll die of alcohol poisoning. But, you know, you can smoke a freaking ounce, 2 ounces, 3 ounces. You can smoke to your heart's content, right? It will not kill you. Most experts agree anyway. But does not mean it's harmless, if you know what I mean. Pregnant women especially should avoid marijuana use until researchers and doctors know more about potentially adverse effects of the fetus. And quite frankly, so why can't we just have, you've got to be an adult, 20 years old or over, just like alcohol, and just, you know, administered that way. This is what gets me, right? There is an answer. There's an answer to it. Just do it. And police it. Pay the police to do their job, and the problem goes away. I don't know. It doesn't. Don't you think that? I don't know. This is I'm a simple guy. You know, Todd would come in and say diminished responsibility. This is why it's out of hand. Well, why aren't we making alcohol illegal? You know. They're both legal now, so let's make them both illegal.
They tried that in the U.S. It didn't work.
But this is what I'm getting at, right? This is what I'm getting at. They're both now legal. You want to criminalize one and continue with the one that causes death.
Right.
That does not make sense to me.
Well, you can also throw in cigarettes. That is more addictive than anything else. Heroin and cigarettes are your two most addictive, right?
I can't give this stuff up. It's totally addictive. It's functional for the human species. And yes, if you drank enough of this stuff, you could die from drinking that as well.
That's actually true. When they used to do the raves from ecstasy,
yeah,
the people, some kids died. They drank too much water.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that evidence is there. So, what is really the question behind? The wrong people are getting paid? Is that what it is?
My opinion is this. They got embarrassed because they never expected 7,000 or 10,000 or 12,000 stores opening up all over the country the way they did the law 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah. And now they have egg on their face. They lost face because they are the marijuana capital, literally, of the world right now. It's everywhere. They lost face. They have to rein in their lost face somehow. That is my opinion, but I think it's based on common sense.
Well, here's my take on it, right? This article says there's nearly 8,000 ganja shops in Thailand. Right, that's 8,000 businesses instantly, well, over the next 12 months will close, depending on how this rolls down the chain. And I believe it'll be reversed, and they'll come out with some sort of sensible solution. Right. Right. That's where I feel like this is just like it doesn't take rocket science. There's 8,000, probably on average, probably 16,000 individuals minimum who are being employed. Right, I would say closer to 50 to 60,000 individuals being employed in the retail sort of sales, not to include the people who have recultivated plantations of this stuff. Right, those people are going to find issues from April 1 next year. The one that's not been talked about, which stood out to me because we've been talking real estate, what about the people who actually own those buildings? The rental income. These are the people that will sway the equation in favour, because there's no other business. Those businesses, those 8,000 shops, that's 8,000 vacant buildings that are not going to be reacquired by a different business. They're
Well,
just
here
going to,
they,
yeah.
but
Well,
no,
they
but
won't. No, 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 they really won't. The doors will close and that's it. The shutters will come down and Bob's your uncle. Yeah,
yeah,
it'll
well,
take,
I'll disagree with you there simply because Thailand reinvents itself overnight. Every
well,
freaking shop that closed with COVID now open bigger and better. But your point's well taken
yeah.
on everything else for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna hurt the economy, that's for sure. I mean, that's a big tourist incentive as well, right? So
And that's another
a lot
thing.
of
It
the
said, although we really didn't want that particular
yeah.
demographic coming in here,
Oh, come
that
on.
that demographic came anyway, right? And they're spending money here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That demographic came here as soon as it opened up. Amsterdam closed their situation. Now, from the U.S., they don't have to come from the U.S. anymore because
No.
you've got plenty of states where it's basically legal now. But the rest of the world is coming here. Although the taxi driver last night said he waited something like 4 hours at the airport for our fare. There are
Jeez.
no tourism right at the moment, right? Just at this moment.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
I'm
I'm
all going
looking.
to Phuket.
Yeah, looking at Mark's comment. I relax when I have a bar girl sitting either side of me calling me handsome man. Okay. On the side of relaxing, okay. Here's one thing that I have to sort of say in attack on the cannabis industry is like there was a situation a few weeks back. We were at Susie's bar, right? And we had one of our friends in the group joined us who is a smoker, and he lit up at the bar. Right, passed the round. I had a toke or probably two tokes, three tokes, and yeah, it was quite strong stuff. And yeah, it was got me talking a little bit more than I probably normally do. Probably more like I do when I live stream. I talk too much. Apart from that, well, my friend Jen Desperado, we were sitting right next to him. Jen doesn't smoke, but after an hour sitting next to a guy smoking cannabis, passively, he was out of it. He rocked his socks, he said, because he's a non-smoker. Well, he smokes. Does he smoke cigarettes? No, he doesn't. Does he smoke cigarettes? I don't even notice. I never notice those sort of things. Anyways, he doesn't smoke cannabis, yet after an hour or after an hour and a half, and I think there was only 2 joints passed around the table, I only had smoked part of one. David smoked the other one himself, but of course the breeze is going right across Den. he was totally rocked. That's where I think, because like if you're at a bar drinking alcohol, your ability drinking one shot doesn't affect the next person, whereas cannabis, no. Okay, that's something that needs to be clarified, right? There needs to be, just like smoking, right? Is smoking allowed in this area? Right, is smoking cannabis allowed in this area, right? Because some people might want to go and have the passive smoke. For all we know, people are people. I'm not going to say anything about that.
I'm not judging it.
Yeah,
I will say, as a non-smoker of pretty much everything now, it completely turns me off when someone smokes next to me, especially if they're smoking weed. That's just not, it's not the right thing to do. If it's a place where cigarette smoking is allowed and I'm there, okay, that's my choice.
Yeah.
But when it comes to weed, absolutely, for me, it's a non-starter.
It needs to be documented. Cannabis here only, and it has to have good ventilation and everything else like that. Those are some of the things that need to be introduced, right? And make it over 20. That's it. You're not 20 years old. You're not an adult yet. In the eyes of the law, you can't make those decisions for yourself. But once you're 20, you can make your own decisions on how you want to screw your head.
I was smoking pot when I was 15 to 18, 19 years old in 1970s, when it was very, very illegal. Any kid can get anything at any time, especially here, whether they're 5 years old, 12 years old, 17 years old, or 20 plus. So that's a non-starter.
And here's the other example, it might have been made legal 2 years ago, but it's always been available here.
Sure.
If you know who to talk to, right? It's just a different economy, And as I think Shanya mentioned, was it in the last video, or like you can go and buy a bottle of LineID this size, right, is fucking 80% proof, or maybe 100% proof, or even 100, it could be OP, probably even closer to 120% OP, but 40 baht. You know, twice the price of a bottle of water from 7-Eleven. You can buy a bottle of this stuff, and that one bottle will kill you. We may lose our connection shortly because we got lightning outside. But yeah, that'll that size bottle of alcohol will kill you.
Oh yeah.
But that's the point. Yeah, the point is you can still get it, but it's under the table. The economy shifts back to where it was prior to the legalization, but business as usual. You just won't have shops selling it.
It's not so much how much of that stuff you're drinking, it's what exactly is that stuff that you're drinking.
I have no idea. It's very sweet.
Exactly.
It's very sweet. It's very yummy. It's a yummy. Well, the Sukhothai stuff I've had is very, because I've had some other stuff which I thought was absolutely just vile, but that Sukhothai stuff is really quite tasty. Well, it tastes better than frickin' tequila anyway.
I don't know about that.
We're up to 52s right now, so don't worry about it.
Anyway, I'm not paying any attention to the people on the you need to go 20 be 20 years of drink. That's right. Yet the girls are a lot younger than a drink in the bars, and you're asking the police to police weed.
It's true.
Yeah. No alcohol in those days. Yes. Why I'm paying a premium? IKR, Mark. I don't know what IKR means. I know most of my acronyms. Anyway, those businesses will close and another business will spring up as always. And it'll take some time. It'll dent the real estate market a little bit, which will be another pin in this whole equation, which will have them rethink a lot of the stuff. He did sort of growing public the dissatisfaction and legalisation of its outcry against the government might fuel significant shift in Thailand's political alliance, ultimately shaping the country's stance on cannabis. Yeah, so there's we got 12 months to sort it out. A lot of the stuff I've been reading through X has been focusing on the fact that the decisions are being made on inaccurate data, right? And this will be data driven because the people who police, the people who change the law, the criminalisation, they're the ones that have to, backpedal on a scientific level of why it was introduced to start with. So they're either have to cause the science wrong, right, or they're going to have to sort of make the government realise there's nothing wrong with the current status in its shape. Yes, it's a controlled substance, right? It's not an illegal substance, and leave it controlled. We should have some control on it, just like we have control on alcohol. But we don't want the big players in other countries moving in and being Chang or these big alcohol companies that basically sway government opinion. We want businesses here in Thailand that are self-supporting without graft. That's what, in my opinion, anyway.
Good here.
But the point of recreational cannabis was never made legal. It was decriminalised. Well, that day, Robert, that it was. The trouble is, it's always been used here. It's just in the big cities and around public areas, it wasn't seen. I'd like to go back to that level too. The current public level of the it should be something that gets put in. I don't like using boxes, but it needs to be put in a box that says this is how it should be run, and nobody's sat down and done that. Over 20, right? No pregnant women, keep it out of the hands of children, right? Let's make sure we're not having major, out of country investment coming in here and upsetting the apple cart of potential growth in the local growing business and local cultivars. Let Thailand be Thailand. Thailand invents some great stuff, but again, they want to suppress this whole move forward. I don't know. Anyway, look, I don't make the decisions. I'll just get right out there. It's not my decision at all to make anything about this. I just think that they're doing it wrong. And I'd like to be able to sit down and if we got a smoke party going on. Yeah, okay. So go to a party and have a smoke. It's all right. Those sort of parties are really quite fun. People don't get aggro. They just mellow out and laugh at shit, laugh at the shittiest jokes that you tell. All the dad jokes. Dad jokes are really in when you're doing a cannabis party. But yeah, you get what I mean.
The only problem with that is you never ever remember any of the conversation. I've never remembered a conversation that I've had when I was on cannabis, including with you a few times.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
I can't remember most of the conversation I have any day. It's called old age. It's called Alzheimer's, isn't it?
No.
I see you had rain. You got any rain down that way? We got thunder out this way, Robert. Thailand is home. Here's the home of inaccurate data, isn't it? What? Yeah, that's why I was trying to use some other data from other countries outside Thailand that aren't skewing the data in their favour or for a political point of view. Put it in a box or a cone. Put it in a box or a cone. Hey, hello. The Vegemite stocks are starting to run low. Well, I got a spare 500 gram on here. I can send you one down from here. I've got a year's supply already, and I can get Vegemite in Big C now. The one I did in the walkthrough, they actually have Vegemite in our local Big C. I could not believe my eyes. Mind you, it's the 220 gram jar, which we're paying the same price here for a 220 gram jar as what Australia does for the 560 gram jars. Yeah, so. It's not perfect, but it's all good. I'll be back in July. I'll bring some of the good stuff. The black gold, the Australian tea. No, we don't drill the ground for it. How does the Beverly Hillbillies tune go? So I got it rung into my head, but I can't sing.
All right. You have any more articles? You're running out of time.
No, that's all right. We only wanted to cover that one today. We got what we're going to do next week, and I'll give you a preface on next week. We were talking, because like something we're talking about doing on Monday, which is this whole real estate thing. Everybody does all the real estate in condos, but let's go and look at some moo barns and what options are there in the house arena. Now, I've talked about Sonia doing that with me, but she really doesn't have the confidence to go in and sort of say, look, this is what we're doing. We get a lot of people watch our channel. We would like to make some, video of what you're offering here and how much it costs, and we want to also talk about freehold versus leasehold and everything else, right? Because there are a lot of foreigners here in Thailand or even overseas who would like to move here, right? But they don't want to live in a condo, right? So they are forced to rent, which is okay for the economy, right? And it does solve rental property issues. But again, there's a certain feeling about ownership of the house. Although I get the feeling, although I don't technically own it, I'm the one paying the mortgage, but I know that we own the house, or Shania owns the house. And that is a smart asset move, right, for anybody potentially coming to Thailand, right? You want to keep your asset base, fairly well, in a position of, authority. I think I'd use that word. What can you do? So we're going to investigate that. We've got some articles we're going to talk about next week, which Trolls gave me. What did you put in? Put them in here. The general chat. What's that? What are you looking at there? What's that? All the go fast bits. Okay, that's your turbo, is it? Yeah. Okay. So we got wealthy foreigners can now buy land. There's an article there. We'll try to sort of wade through that article. That one's in Thai. Trolls will have to read it for me, otherwise I'll have to translate it. There's a Reddit article there. But we're going to talk about housing next week as our subject. So we've got an idea for next week anyway. We'll go down that rabbit hole for an hour or a little bit longer. Who knows? Aside from that, what in closing, well, Warren, what I post? Okay. Warren Thierot, I don't understand the Thai standards for medical grade to be limited to 0.2%. What are the health benefits does that provide if it's over 20% in the US? It's again, it's the psychoactive substance that they're talking about here. They were looking at things like the cannabinoids that have what they call anti-inflammatory aspect, and that's in the CBD chemical makeup as opposed to the THC. I'm not going to go into trying to break down them. I can't remember them off the top of my head. That's my Alzheimer's kicking in. I used to know those names off the top of my head. But anyway, Robert and B, you're both very welcome. We help Farang here buy and sell property, part of the deal with my building company. And Robert, there's something I know you said a couple of times and it's never really gelled. If you can give me a link to that there's a special type of leasehold document that you need to have so that they don't change the lease on you part way through the lease holding agreement and you lose your house. There's some sort of way to safeguard yourself against that legally so that can't happen. It does require legal input, but a lease is a binding agreement and it's to be held for a binding agreement time. But in Thailand things change, but there is another thing on top of that you can add to the lease agreement which fixes that for the period of time and nobody can change it. Which is something you really want. If you're going to be here for, build a house and you've got a 30 year plus a 30-year on go, use a fact. Yes, thank you, Robert. If you've got an article, if you've got a web article, I can add that in there and we'll talk about that next week. And get you all up, add it here. Add it here so we can all be up to date on the thing so we can talk about it properly.
You can have a company though.
And that's the thing. Yeah. Trolls owns company, so he's a company owner. What is a company owner? I have a few, but I have a mutual company with my wife that we just do a blanketed consulting kind of thing. So that way, we will buy property for that and use that for just rental properties, and then we'll do if I'm going out to eat, we'll just call it a business expense, put gas in the car, just a certain we hit all the tax thresholds, I would say, just to kind of maximize that. But as a foreigners can do this as well. So like Jerry could own this company and own I think it's he's got to have at least you can have 90% of it and then give 10% away, and then that way you could still buy the property or the land with that company. Fair enough. Yeah. So there are ways around the process. Yeah, most people coming here to live long term, if they want a house, they're going to have to look at the rental side or a spouse who is going to be the primary owner. That's pretty much the only way you are going to do it. Now, I said, in our case, Sonia is the 100% owner. I'm not even involved in it. That's the only thing I'm looking about, the change in law when it comes to the marriage thing, right? If that does allow me to put my name in that paperwork for a 49% share, right? All well and good. It just helps, it just increases my asset base, which I can then leverage elsewhere because it'll be on record. But that's the only reason I'd really be looking at marriage here in Thailand. As I said, my visa's simple. Everything's under control with the visa. I've looked at the stack of paperwork, and Robert's told me about, I've never seen his stack of paperwork, but I've seen stacks of paperwork at immigration offices of people who are married. Seriously, they bring in freaking boxes full. I'd rather just pay the 900 baht and say I'm a retiree here.
It's
but
so much easier.
Yeah. Get the whole idea. Anyway, I'm a consultant for building and architectural company I am employed by, so we get, again, Robert, hopefully Robert will correct any misspeaking in the video we put out and next week's live stream, because I'm just the host. I want you guys talking. I'm trying to do something here and get conversation getting going between different people of different walks of life. And the only the gel is the fact that you know me, right? It's just like it's a circle of influence or circle of whatever, circle of witchcraft or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah, getting a new gaming laptop, so I'll have a video next time, hopefully.
Oh, good. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, because I'm pretty sure we're going to get a few more views than normal on this one. But I kept ganja out of the title of the name. I've called it, illegal, because I've gone with Cabbage as opposed to the other vlogger who goes with, he goes with broccoli, that's right. Broccoli, yeah. I want to use Cabbage because I don't mind broccoli. Cabbage, broccoli's good, but Cabbage, that fitted the boat better because people like cabbage.
Cue the song and get
people
off.
don't like broccoli. Anyway, cue the song and get off. Thank you, Mr. Stephen Monash. I'm getting out of here.
Play some video games.
We're going to go and play Star Citizen 3.23 now. It was released this morning, and they wiped our money. They wiped our money, but they didn't wipe our ships or everything else.
Yeah.
And we can now customize our character and keep our customized. We can actually make our characters look like ourselves. I've been watching Evo throughout the week, last week while they've been playing the EPTU, how they've been making their characters look like they're real people, like their real selves. The amount of customization that they got in the character customization now, you can actually sculpt something and make it look like you in the game. Although I don't really want to make it look like me. I've gone for an Asian look. Anyway, I'm quite happy with the one I've got. So. Illegal Cabbage, that's exactly right. Anyway, let me get the song and scroll down. Hopefully the sound came through all right and all that sort of stuff. Ending screen, closing screen, that's the one we want. Peace out, guys. Stay tuned for the next video, and we'll see you next week. Peace out, stay cool, and don't smoke too much ganja.
Just enough.
Just enough.
Yeah.